I went to high school in Staten Island, New York, and was pouring rain outside. And my high school, Susan Wagner High School, was the first ever high school with AstroTurf placed in. And we still went outside, even though it was a misty rain. It had been pouring all morning, to go play some football out for gym class. And the turf, Andrew, was negligently wet. And I mention the word negligently because I was backpedaling to brace my fall, broke my wrist.
Isn't that a Pink Floyd song,
Negligently wet? Yeah, negligently wet. And yeah, it's great when you're high, too. And to this day, my wrist actually hurts when the weather changes, my left wrist. And so at any rate, long story short, is my father was an assistant principal at another high school, decides to call up the principal on the high school just to get an answer as to why we were outside when it was wet, and I've now broken my wrist. Principal never returned his phone call. And, you know, you don't mess with my father in that respect. So we decided, sat down, we're going to sue the New York City Public School District, even though my father was part of it, and name the principal and gym teachers as defendants. And sure enough, we sued the shit out of them. And my gym teacher was deposed the same day I was deposed. I actually saw my gym teacher walk into the same room that I was. It was a little awkward, to say the least. And because the wheels of New York City justice grind very slow, it wasn't until 10 years later that I collected a check for a grand total of $1,500. And to this day, like I said, I'm proud to say that I sued my gym teacher, which has got some sort of very neat revenge, since I was picked last in gym 9 times out of 10. That I
molested.
I sued the guy, but I'm $1,500 richer.
No, what really happened was I went to the High School of Performing Arts, which was a school which had no jocks or bullies or any of that stuff. In fact, the school sport was actually dance. We had to take dance class, and so there was we had a teacher who was a terribly nice man, but very kind of a tweedy, old, kind of mincy kind of a teacher. Very nice man, but and he would have everybody do these semi-elaborate combinations, and I had to go to Capizio's and get tights and a dance belt. It was very uncomfortable, and I wasn't a good dancer, and most of the guys were not very good. And one day I absolutely slipped in class, probably because I was stoned, because I got stoned every day in high school, and slipped in class and fell on my wrist, and in fact did break it. And you can hear the kind of a, you can't really hear it here.
You can't click on demand.
That's another problem. That's another story for another time. I can't do many things on demand. And so my father, who was, I guess, kind of a third or second tier, kind of a rat packer, or fancied himself that. So he was an agent and a tough guy. He was like Bogart, kind of. He got a lawyer friend of his, a typical showbiz lawyer, to sue what in effect was what ended up being kind of the LaGuardia School of the Arts system, which comprised several schools in Manhattan. There was music and art, and there was art and design, and the High School of Performing Arts. And they took action against the high school, but eventually dropped it when I was begging them to stop it, because I was so humiliated, because I still had to attend class wearing a cast, and I had to endure the withering stares of my teacher, and they dropped the lawsuit, and that was it. Great story. Ooh.